The Tennessee Army National Guard is proud to support Middle Tennessee high schools and high school athletics.
We're working together to help schools and students get the most out of their high school years on and off the field.
The Tennessee Army National Guard is honored to join forces with MyTV30 and Friday Night Rivals to support the communities we live in, work in, and we serve in. Tennessee Army National Guard is volunteer strong.
Tonight's Friday Night Rivals matchup between two of Middle Tennessee's finest high schools is brought to you by the Tennessee Army National Guard and Bart Durham Injury Law.
It is playoff time in Tennessee. Tonight brings us to Nolensville High School for a first-round playoff rematch in the 5A class between a pair of 6 and 4 teams. The Nolensville Knights host the Tullahoma Wildcats on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law on MyTV30. Welcome in, everyone. Great to have you with us from Nolensville, Tennessee. He is former Vanderbilt offensive lineman Bruno Reagan. I'm Lucas Panzica. We'll bring in Sammy Kincaid here shortly. Bruno, it's that time of year. Win or go home. Tonight, Nolensville gets a chance to take on the team that ended their season a year ago in Tullahoma.
And for the viewership, I mean, this is playoff football. These are the teams at their very best. Any guys that were on the injury reserve, they're typically trying to come off and prepare for these games right here tonight.
Let's get to our keys to the game, starting with the road team, Tullahoma, coming in at 6 and 4. For them, it's about taking risks on defense, Bruno. It's not a unit that wants to be on the field for 12, 14, 15 play drives.
And that's kind of a reaction to Nolensville's offense, right? They're very pro-style, something unusual you see at the high school level. So you let them operate at that 8 to 10 play series, and you play a bend-don't-break defense. Your defense is going to take too much wear and tear going into the third and fourth quarter, so you're going to try and be aggressive on those first and second downs.
And for Nolensville, there's been a heavy emphasis on finishing games. Just 2 weeks ago, a 13-0 lead against Summit dissipated, part of a 2-game losing skid that ended their regular season. They're trying to get that right and keep their foot on the gas.
Something I can relate to being in mostly pro-style, West Coast-style offenses is you get up to that 10 and 17, you're operating like machines, and then you play against these explosive offensive styles, and they make the game come back within 2 to 3 minutes. So if you're in that position, you still have to control the ball, stay on the field, and control that time of possession.
Now for our players to watch. For Tullahoma, it's star running back Marvancy Johnson. They call him Fancy. He's got over 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. Nothing fancy about that production.
And he's only a junior too, right? So we're going to get to see this young cat for another season of Tennessee high school football. But he's going to be the bell cow tonight for Tullahoma.
And for Nolensville, several weapons across this offense to consider, but Landon Smotherman, who has 7 total touchdowns, leading the team, and they can use him in a wide variety of ways.
Yeah, when you look at the stats, you see 400 yards, you might think, oh, he's going to get the ball tonight. He's kind of their, pick a spot, go. They're going to bring him on the inside. They'll put him on the out for the goes if things start getting good on the play action. So Smotherman's going to be set up for a big breakout game tonight.
The stakes are high. Both of these teams trying to keep their seasons alive under a beautiful night sky in Middle Tennessee. Let's bring in Sammy Kincaid for an injury update.
Hey guys, for the Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Update, it's a short list tonight. We'll start out on the Tullahoma side. There are no injuries tonight for Tullahoma. And then flip it over to the Nolensville side. Short list, there's only one name on that list, and that is Austin Scanlon. He is out with a shoulder injury for tonight. That's your Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Update. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have kickoff, coin toss, a lot more for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
It's a beautiful night for football in Williamson County at the 5A level. Nolensville at home after a 6-4 regular season, playing host to the Tullahoma Wildcats, a team that ended their campaign in 2023. It's a playoff rematch right here on MyTV 30. Before kickoff, we'll send it down to the field for the Tennessee Army National Guard coin toss with white hat Scott Spielman.
Heads or tails for him to hear.
Tails.
Tails. Call his tails. If I drop it, we'll do it again. And it is tails, and you want the ball. You're going to be kicking, we're going to kick from. All right. So then, Black over here, please.
Come over here with me, Black.
White right here, please.
Right here next to you.
Tullahoma wins the toss, and they want the football. An offense averaging 28 points per game. A couple of 6-4 teams meeting in Nolensville. Bruno Reagan. They met a year ago, a 10-0 win for the Tullahoma Wildcats, and now Nolensville looking to make that right at home. Tullahoma trying to keep a streak going.
The first round of the playoffs, right? It's kind of like a new season. And don't let these records fool you. You see 6-4, and you might think, who knows how far we'll see these guys go. My senior year, Clarksville Northeast was a 5-5 team, made it all the way to, I believe, the state semis. So you could see some potential high-level 5A football here tonight.
And we are underway in Nolensville. J.D. Kuhlman kicks it off to dangerous return man Kenai Johnson, fielding it inside his 10 as he probes his way up to the 25-yard line, and that is where Tullahoma's offense will take the field. As you take a look at junior quarterback Lucas Reed, a first-year starter, was the backup quarterback for the Wildcats last year. Took a couple of weeks to really settle into the season, but he's operating this offense efficiently, has to make reads in the RPO game, and this coaching staff is really happy with how he's playing.
Yeah, first-year guy coming into it as an upperclassman. That's an interesting dynamic that not a lot of people understand. It's hard to explain, right? You have to come to your own, and you have to be a leader at the same time. His coaches will expect him to start taking the role as a senior right now, even though he's still got an extra year on him.
It's a Tullahoma team that overcame an 0-2 start to rally with 6 wins in their last 8 regular season games to get to this point. Faking the handoff to Johnson. Reed will screen it out to Kenai Johnson, who's off and running. Johnson at midfield, and he's dragged down. Into Nolensville territory, a big play. They want to get it into the hands of number 3 early and often. That one goes for 25.
Yeah, they put Kenai Johnson into a motion. They do a good job of just dumping it right into him so he can get those yards after the catch. And the Nolensville defenders will probably be a little bit more keen once they see that motion to start playing a little bit more press, because the receivers didn't come off the ball there. I mean, that's attack the backfield, try and hit him at the line. If you give Johnson that much space, he's going to convert.
Puts him at over 650 receiving yards on the season. And now they'll hand to the bell cow. Marvancy Johnson pushing the pile across the line to gain. It's still going. The Wildcats pushing it across the 35 to the 30, where it is stood up. And how about that for toughness up front?
Making a statement early in the game. If you're going to do it, might as well do it as early as possible. Great push by the front 7 for Tullahoma.
Here are the starting lineups. First offensively for Tullahoma, presented by BMC Metalworks. Marvancy Johnson, who you just saw pushed in that pile. Now over 1,400 rush yards on the season for the running back. And Kenai Johnson, number 3, who you've already seen with a catch and run. 2 of the biggest weapons on this football team. They go back to Johnson in the backfield, and he is slung down. Nothing going there. The stop made by Jake Centel, the sophomore first-year starter, part of this Nolensville defense that is coordinated by head coach Paul Derrick, allowing 17 points per game. That linebacker duo of Brennan Rexroad and Carson Kelly has really been a dynamic duo for this unit, putting together a combined 110-plus tackles. Kenai Johnson, the man in motion. Flag down as Marvancy Johnson has some trouble with the snap, but does secure it, and we'll see what the flag is.
Little shift. What do you want to do? Take it back. Little shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So they're going to push him back. An interesting decision considering it would have been about a 3rd and 11. But they want Tullahoma to play a little bit behind. probably opting for better field position if they can force a punt here in this situation. Good job by Nolensville in this series specifically. Coming in are key to the game as we take a look at Coach Coy Sis, the Tullahoma head coach. He wants his guys to play explosive, stay ahead of the chains. Nolensville did a good job of being disrupted there on first down, now getting Tullahoma in a bad position.
Reed screens it this time to the running back. Johnson has a seam up the sideline. And he is dropped near the original line of scrimmage to make it third and more manageable for the Wildcats on this opening series.
That same play, that's the very first play we came out with right here. They're going to keep attacking that if they don't press a little bit. And when I mean press, you don't have to have a pre-snap alignment, but you have to be able to read the quarterback, the motion, what the offense is doing, right? Also, be careful, the top safety, he's covering the top.
First third down faced by the Tullahoma offense. Reed wings it out to Johnson. He is swarmed. Nowhere to run. Dropped at the 30-yard line. Brennan Rexroad comes out of the pile, pounding his chest, and the Nolensville defense able to get off the field.
Not a bad call. This is a screenplay, and actually works better for Nolensville. Nolensville looks like on the defensive line they ran a little bit of a slant where they crossed the D lineman. So the offensive lineman wants them to rush. As we take a look at Rexroad right there, who made that play, they were a little bit on their heels and able to read the screen because of the defensive call.
Tullahoma going to kick from 47 yards. This is within the range of kicker Chase Dotson. Trouble with the snap. End-over-end kick is going to be short and just wide. No good from the kicker that drilled a 50-yarder against Rockvale earlier in the season. But Tullahoma comes up empty on the opening series, and Nolensville will take over on downs when we come back here on MyTV 30. Back at Nolensville High School, scoreless early after the opening series. A missed field goal from 47 yards by the Wildcats. Nolensville set to take over for its offensive series, first one of the game, as we pivot to the Marines National Anthem here in the first quarter. Little extra special on this Veterans Day weekend. Great pregame scene out here in front of a fantastic crowd at Nolensville High School. Our national anthem moment presented by the United States Marines. So here's the Nolensville offense for its first series. Starting on the 20-yard line. Quarterback Jack Dever. Hands off up the middle and swallowed up in the backfield is running back Andrew Ryan on his first carry as we get a look at Dever, another first-year starter who actually came in as the third stringer in the game against Tullahoma a year ago, that playoff loss, but he's a totally different player from that point and has really done well to manage this offense.
Yeah, this is your chance at sort of revenge. I mean, you got to see the way the cookies crumble. Looking to take advantage now.
Floats it up the middle of the field, and spinning down is Landon Smotherman. He was our player to watch pregame. 5-yard catch for the senior. As you look at the Nolensville offensive starters presented by BMC Metalworks. Tristan Lithmexe, the lead back as a sophomore. Smotherman, very important weapon for the Knights. And Oliver Bender, number 14, a guy who's been banged up throughout the course of the year, but is back to 100% and a very reliable weapon on the outside. Dever throws quickly to Bender, who can't hang on. Incomplete to bring up 3rd and 6. Tullahoma defensive starters. Will Hayden right in the middle, a big leader on that defense. A 6'1", 200-pound junior. As there you look at Creed Adams, the outside linebacker, and a talented secondary. But head coach Coy Sisk says the defense has got to play complementary and as a unit in order to have success. No one group. That's the star of the show. Was a 3rd down incompletion, so it's punted away by Kuhlman and returned by Johnson out to near midfield. It'll be good starting field position for Tullahoma on their second offensive series.
Tullahoma doing a good job of attacking the sidelines right now. As far as going up the middle, we haven't had enough data within this game to kind of see what they have. But they have Johnson and Johnson kind of their two main production lines. A bell cow back and someone that they can move pretty much anywhere. I would assume they're going to move Kanai to the field, which is the open side. So right here it would be towards the Nolensville sideline, those black jerseys. That's where you'll see him take advantage.
There you see Kanai Johnson, number 3, but they're going to hand off to Marvancy Johnson, who is spun down across the 45. Flag down was Nolan Toney's on the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty as a result, 1st down.
I mean, that's not the way you want to start this series at all. Nolensville kind of falling a little bit behind in terms of, well, they haven't been able to get anything done on offense. They had one good series on defense, mainly from a 1st down behind the back tackle, but otherwise, Tullahoma's been controlling the first half of this first quarter. They line up their back in the backfield, and they spread it out, empty backfield.
There you see Nolensville head coach Paul Derrick looking on. Ball on the ground, quarterback keeper by Lucas Reed. Thought he fumbled the football, but quickly a side judge comes in, signaling 2nd down. So Tullahoma rescues the possession, and it ends up being a gain of 1. Paul Derrick been here since the jump. Nolensville had its first year of football in 2016, playing freshman and JV football before getting to the varsity level in 2017, then under head coach Will Hester, who now is at Ravenwood. Derrick was Hester's defensive coordinator in those years, and now in year 7 as the head coach. Marvancy Johnson in the open field, down the sideline, thumping his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Tullahoma. A 28-yard rumble by the junior back, and the Wildcats take an early lead on the road.
Love the design there from Tullahoma. Once we take a look at that replay, you're going to see the back man, the H-back right there. He actually sifts into it, and they have a gap scheme kick-out blocker. So there's a very definitive wall that they want Johnson to run through, and he's able to get up, find the end zone, virtually untouched until the end.
The 17th touchdown of the year for a guy that his head coach calls a special player. So explosive out of the backfield. And again, trouble with the snap, but it's controlled and booted through the uprights by Chase Dodson. And Tullahoma leads Nolensville on the road 7-0 in the first round of the 5A playoffs. Marvancy Johnson, 28 yards. Tullahoma head coach Coy Sisk has to like what he sees. An early touchdown run by Marvancy Johnson has the Wildcats up on the road 7-0 over the Nolensville Knights. Welcome back, first round 5A playoff action on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Tullahoma will kick it off. Chase Dodson booting it back to Landon Smotherman, who fields it inside his own 10. Big hole up the middle for Smotherman. He takes it with the kicker to beat. There goes Landon Smotherman across the 20. One man to beat. Touchdown, Nolensville. What an answer. 99 yards. Landon Smotherman.
That kickoff was successful from his immediate read. He reads the defending team on this kickoff like a book, follows his blockers up the middle, and knows when to cut it when he has that kicker to beat. Not very good coverage there by Tullahoma, staying in their lanes. They were a little overlapped where one guy's kind of behind the other, and they're not covering enough of the field. Smotherman able to take advantage of that.
And how about that? We'll stay right there to hold on the extra point from junior J.D. Kuhlman. Up and through, and we have a tie ball game midway through the first quarter. Special teams, a big emphasis for both head coaches this week, and Nolensville throws the first punch in that phase of the game.
Smotherman was our player to watch coming in for Nolensville. We didn't even mention the potential of a special teams impact for this young man, but when Nolensville was starting to get behind, not really show a lot, defense and offense, he might give them the kind of jolt they need to get back into this game.
Tie game in the first. Let's send it down to the field with Sammy Kincaid.
I'm now joined with Sergeant First Class Raymond Gonzalez. And thank you so much, first off, for your service to this country. But can you tell me how the Tennessee Army National Guard is different from other military branches?
Well, what makes us a little different is we have a twofold mission. We have a state mission and a federal mission. So the state side is if we're called upon to do any natural disasters, any civil duties. And then the federal side is if we're called upon to help fight with the nation's wars and stuff like that.
And I know there's a lot of jobs with the Tennessee Army National Guard, but what are some of those jobs?
We have a multitude of different career paths. Any pathway that the civilian world has, we pretty much have that in the Tennessee National Guard. We have pathways in IT, medical, logistics, you name it, we got it. And all that stuff is done here in the great state of Tennessee.
That's fantastic. And everyone talks about the benefits of being in the military, but what benefits are specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So one of the best ones that we have is called the Tennessee Strong Act. It goes with the governor's Drive to 55. So any student that joins the Tennessee Army National Guard, we pay $14,500 a year for state tuition to keep Tennessee students in Tennessee schools.
That's fantastic. And again, thank you so much for your service, and thank you again to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Sammy. Kenai Johnson on the ensuing kickoff, wondering if he can return the favor, but is chased out of bounds before he reaches the 35-yard line. So the Tullahoma offense will come back out in a first quarter that has had a bit of a fire lit under it. Bruno, Tullahoma missing a long field goal on their opening series. Nolensville punting on theirs. And then just like that, with the snap of a finger, quick touchdown run by Marvancy Johnson for the Wildcats, and Landon Smotherman with the answer on the kickoff for Nolensville.
Tullahoma's offense has seemed to found a groove with the gap scheme on the inside and their swing style on the outside.
Johnson is met in the backfield, tripped up and dropped for a loss. Jake Centel in on the stop. Second tackle of the game for the sophomore defensive end.
He's doing a great job off the backside. Backside linebackers have the potential to make the most uncontested plays. It just takes a good athlete with a brain, right? You have to be able to read offensive linemen where they're going, try and cut at certain angles. Centel's done a good job already making his impact on tonight with his second tackle.
Kind of symbolizes a pretty big theme across this Nolensville group on guys that waited their opportunity as first-year starters making an impact. There's Johnson ducking and dodging in the backfield. and rolling forward for a few yards.
He kept moving afterwards, thinking, I'm not sure what he was thinking. Maybe that his shoulders hitting the ground. As we take a look right here, this is just a good duo-style play right there. Double teams all across the board. We'll take a look right here. That is 100% down, by the way, but kudos to Johnson for playing through the whistle.
Seen a lot more obvious players down get up and keep running than that. High snap, and Lucas Reed forced to try to run up the middle. Carson Kelly says no, sir. And that's a third down stop by the Nolensville defense, forcing the first punt of the game from the Wildcats.
I love it when defenses attack the procedure. And you see right there, that's on the backside. For Tullahoma, they're pulling. It's a counter play where they're pulling two guys, and the backside is just attacking the point of transition right there. So even a second off by the quarterback on the handoff, Kelly's able to get back there and influence the play. This time it's just for a tackle for loss.
Be booted away by Sam Bobo, the junior punter. And fielded, shaking a tackle. Back at the 30 is Walker, the punt returner. And a nice run back marked down at the 42-yard line. Flag is down on the far sideline at the end of the run back. Scott Spielman conferencing with his crew. A lot to discuss here. Came at the end of the play.
You see the two palms up from some of the refs, the universal sign of, I don't know. We'll see what they call.
After the play is over, we have personal foul on the return team. We have a personal foul on the kicking team. They offset it. As a result, we're going to have first down.
So Nolensville will get it at the 41, offsetting penalties.
If you're Nolensville after that return, you got to take a sigh of relief because the special teams with Smotherman gets you back into the game quick. The defense just had a great 3 and out. Now your offense has pretty good field position starting from their own 40.
Dever screens left side. Andrew Ryan swarmed in the backfield. Tackle made by Bronson Bunch, the senior nickel linebacker. Loss of 3.
Brunch with the teach tape right there. So Nolensville tries a swing pass that Tullahoma had a lot of success with in their first 2 series. And Brunch was attacking his blocker right there, getting into the backfield. Made it really hard for the receiver to find space to hit his stride.
Moved the spot back a yard. Loss of 4. 2nd and 14. Dever on the run. Picked off. Bobo. Off and running down the other way. Sam Bobo trips up inside the 10. And Tullahoma will send its offense back out on the field as Sam Bobo, the safety, reads Dever perfectly and snatches it away for the Wildcats.
On the right side of the screen, you'll see Bobo 6'1". He's kind of ducking right there. I mean, he was clear in vision, but as a quarterback, it's just hard to tell when someone is in that window or that lane. Right there, Dever thinks he can just get it right through the window quick. But it ends up intercepted. And Tullahoma will start with only about 5 yards to gain for another touchdown scoring opportunity.
Trouble with the snap again for Reed, and this time it's Brennan Rexrow taking advantage.
You got to give credit to this Nolensville defense. They're carrying a lot of the weight right now for their team in terms of setting a tone and responding to adversity. Great play right here by Rexrow. The strong side, Mike side linebacker just runs right through and takes advantage of the procedure, which is not something that should be happening here in the first round of the playoff. These are 2 teams, 6-4, but still, you want to bring your best. But in the first quarter, you've already seen 2 procedure issues from Tullahoma.
Play action. Reed fires across the middle and brought down inside the 5. That is Alex Bobo, the triplet brother of Sam Bobo, who, and it's a touchdown. Touchdown Tullahoma. Correction, got fooled by the soccer lines on the field here at Nolensville. Alex Bobo with his 6th touchdown catch of the year as he gets into the end zone.
You can see right where Lucas got a little messed up there. We have about 16 soccer lines on the field, but luckily enough for Alex Bobo, he trusted his route tree and his assignment, knew exactly where to go to get Tullahoma up, pending the extra point, 14-7.
Extra point is good. Bobo short of the goal line, but good enough for the touchdown, as he's short of the soccer goal line, but across the football one. That's good for 6, his 6th touchdown catch of the year, and Tullahoma leads it 14-7.
Great throw by Reed, too, right into the chest. A lot of times quarterbacks will try to lead it a little too much, just doing too much, or get it behind, just trying to be safe. He just puts it right on his chest, trusts his guy to secure the ball, make a play, fall forward into the end zone.
I'm a soccer guy, too. I feel like I got betrayed by my own sport there.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at the field, Lucas, that is an interesting dynamic. I don't think in any of the games we've had this season, we've had this amount of lines on the field.
Well, usually it's the football lines that are messing up soccer players playing on a football field. This time I'm the one that gets got, but not Alex Bobo. He puts Tullahoma back on top. Nolensville set to get it back. There they are. You see the penalty box and then the 6 with the soccer goal line splitting the end zone here at Nolensville High School. And they're going to try to keep it away from Landon Smotherman this time after the 99-yard return the last time out. Still a great return out of it for Nolensville as Walker rumbles up to the 40, and that's where Nolensville will pick up where it left off.
Yeah, any team is going to, even if Smotherman can't get the ball and have a potential to score again on these special teams plays, any team that's semi-confident in their offense should be extremely happy starting their drive at the 40-yard line.
Jack Dever will trot back out with his offense. Nolensville has 0 net yards of offense so far, but on the board from the long kickoff return by Smotherman, who will get the screen here. Makes a move at the line of scrimmage and picks up 5 yards.
Coming into the game, me and Lucas were talking about who to watch for the Nolensville Knights. That's who we ended up going with right there, number 7, Landon Smotherman. A lot of potential options, offense and defense for this team. But Smotherman proving our choice to be right, at least in this first quarter.
Paul Derrick, who has taken this Nolensville team to the playoffs in every year that he's been the head coach of the Knights. Give up the middle is to Josh Hicks, a cornerback who they will spot play at running back. Physical guy out of the backfield, but that's the name of the game for this offense, Bruno, is just put the ball into the hands of different playmakers.
Yeah, and you'll start to see that start to have an exponential added effect when you get to the third and fourth quarter, when you got guys that are a little bit more fresh than having a single bell cow that ends up taking that beating.
Here's 3rd and short for the Knights. Looking for their first down of the ballgame. Dever hands off again, up the middle. Fighting off tacklers and pushing the pile across midfield for the first down. Flag flies late. Andrew Ryan, another guy that they're experimenting with a little bit at running back, typically has played in the slot for the Knights this year, but doing some good things out of the backfield, but we'll see what the call is.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty, result first down.
So that'll march Nolensville deeper into Tullahoma territory.
So Nolensville will convert this first down after coming into this series with 0 net yards on offense. And we can see number 29 right there. Yeah, I mean, that's just undisciplined right there. What are you doing, youngin'? Got to play smarter football, especially if you're in the playoffs where any game can be your last.
Winner will move on to face the winner between Shelbyville and Hillsborough in the second round of the 5A bracket. Dever swings it out to Smotherman, trying to run around a block to the outside, but what a job by Bronson Bunch to shed the block and make the tackle.
Yeah, Brunch is attacking these swing passes exactly how you should, and it's a tough ask for a receiver. Guys who aren't used to blocking either, you have to try and stay square and get up the field because you want to give your guy a two-way go. Right there, the blocker gets turned. Brunch forcing Smotherman to go to the outside, right where he's standing. Easy to convert that play.
Bronson Bunch, who wears number 8, a number of high significance at the Tullahoma program. Tell you more on that a little bit later. Up the middle, this is Tristan Lithmexe bouncing off tackles across the 20. They'll mark him down at the 20, making it third and very short, about half a yard. It's the lead rusher, Lithmexe, with over 600 yards on the season. And this will be the first snap for Nolensville taken in the Tullahoma red zone tonight. Dever. Hands off. Lithmexe has the first down. Presented by BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary.
Nolensville finding success with their own series of counter plays where they pull the backside guard to be the lead kick out, and then they'll take that H-back to be the sift up into the second level, typically for the main side linebacker. I would like to see them get a little bit more aggressive on those pulls. Tullahoma's getting a lot of penetration, meeting them in the line of scrimmage and in the backfield.
Maybe some confusion here on the spot. They're actually going to come out and measure. Looked like they signaled first down, and it certainly looked good enough from up here in the booth, but they'll bring out the chains. First down, Nolensville.
I'll be the one to say that is an interesting decision by the refs, having signaled the first down. That's like when you have the easy question on a test and you're like, this is too easy, and you put in your calculator about 5 times. You're like, hey, I'm all right, that's the answer.
You are speaking my language. Better safe than sorry. So 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Nolensville in search of the game-tying touchdown. Handoff. Ryan stumbles at the line of scrimmage and is brought down by Sam Bobo, who had the interception for the Wildcats on the last drive that set up the touchdown by his triplet brother, Alex Bobo, with the reception. There you see Coy Sisk, another coach that was a former defensive coordinator at the coach he is now the head coach of. This was the Tullahoma touchdown that took the lead as we take it to the second quarter. Wildcats by 7.
28 seconds. That's 5 minutes, 38 seconds.
Welcome back to Nolensville High School. 5A playoff football in the first round. Wildcats up 7, but the Knights driving, looking to even the score. I'm Lucas Panzica alongside Bruno Reagan in the booth. Sammy Kincaid down on the field. Stay with us. The United States Navy halftime report as we highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, have participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the country, and much more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. As again, we see a very happy Veterans Day weekend to everybody watching on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law here on My TV 30. 2nd and 9, Nolensville in the red zone. It's been a long drive after the Tullahoma touchdown that came off an interception. Up the middle, this is Hicks rolling forward. Mark him down at about the 12. It'll bring up 3rd and short for the Knights as you look at the first quarter stats. And you can see on offense there, Bruno, heavily favoring Tullahoma. Nolensville's lone score coming from the 99-yard kickoff return by Landon Smothers.
And Nolensville's 2 series they had, a quick 3 and out, and then the interception. Now they're starting to find their groove on offense. So even though the stats don't look great for the first quarter, they have a chance to even it up.
On the play action, Dever fires. Looking to the goal line. It's caught right at the 2. Oliver Bender making the diving snag despite good coverage. 1st and goal for the Knights.
Also love this from Devers right here. I mean, you're a guy who throws a pick that was kind of, a tough one, and he just comes back and slings it across the field right into the pylon.
Aiden Kelly was in on the coverage. Looks like there is a flag down. And Scott Spielman, again, will sort this out.
Receiver, downfield, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
So that'll take away a 1st and goal opportunity for Nolensville and make it 3rd down and about 7 for the Knights.
That's typically an offensive lineman that ends up running a little bit too far downfield. They'll give you about a 1 to 2 yard cushion, but every refereeing staff is a little different.
Andrew Ryan now in the backfield for Nolensville. Smotherman and Bender to the right of your screen. Dever looking that way, airs it out towards the end zone, incomplete. Throwing up a jump ball for Smotherman, and Aiden Kelly broke it up.
Who else to go to than Smotherman, our player to watch coming in, and he almost makes the play. I think Kelly does just enough to get his hand. Yep, tips the ball. Great job. So his tallest finger on his hand, whichever one that is, ends up making the play. Kelly and Tullahoma to force a 4th down.
Coy Sisk loves his cornerback, Aiden Kelly. Says he's the exact type of corner that he wants. 6 foot, 150, kind of fools offenses into going at him and ends up making plays. So here Nolensville sets up a 34-yard attempt that is drilled by Kuhlman, making him 10 of 12 on the season. So the Knights don't get a touchdown, but they do come away with 3 and cut the deficit to 4.
Nolensville able to convert, take 3 here. Again, me and Lucas were on the call here. Coming into this game, I told him pro-style offenses typically want to have a 70% touchdown conversion rate when they get into the red zone. Our key coming in for Nolensville was they need to finish these drives. Now, if you can get 3, especially after the first quarter, it's teetering on disaster for Nolensville. For them to go down and convert, it's good for their motivation, their confidence. Now, anytime they get down there, they're going to have to finish these drives with 7 points.
So Tullahoma will get it back up 14-10. Great crowd on hand on a gorgeous night. We've got Mariah Carey playing on November 8th. A lot of debate about that. Is it too early? Is it just right?
You're never too early for the Christmas spirit. As we take a look at our scoring summary, 10 plays, 43 yards, capped off by a 34-yard field goal, and 4 minutes, 24 seconds off the clock. No, I love Christmas. You can't come early enough.
But there's got to be a limit, right?
Yeah, Halloween. Decorations after Halloween. Boom. And you're good to go.
Keep it away from Kenai Johnson on the kickoff, as that's fielded by Caden Poff, who scampers out near the 40.
Caden Poff kind of did his good. It's like he blended in with the environment. He stood completely still, was able to shake 2 defenders with this new technique I've never seen before. Very interesting. Tullahoma going to start. Again, I think both of these teams they would love to start with the field position they have. Ball on their own 40. Any offense will take that.
Well, you wonder if we're just going to see that the rest of this game with Landon Smotherman on one side for Nolensville, Kenai Johnson, the dangerous return man for Tullahoma. Feels like both units are going to want to keep it away from those returners all night long. On the 40, Reed hands off to Johnson. Second effort gets him at the 44-yard line. Pickup of 4 brings up 2nd and 6.
And there's something about that play right there. There were 2 gentlemen that pulled into each other. It looked like it might have been a little bit of a busted play blocking assignment-wise, but that shows the strength of this Tullahoma offense. And Johnson able to make something out of nothing.
So that run puts Johnson over 1,400 rush yards on the season. Already 69 yards on 8 carries and a touchdown tonight. Screen to Kenai Johnson. Excellent tackle made at the line of scrimmage. Big time stop by Jonah Osborne. Let's send it down to the field with Sammy Kincaid.
Hey guys, yeah, it's a really interesting story with quarterback Jack Dever. He is another senior that's really waited his turn, has had made good decisions with the ball, and has grown throughout the year. He didn't actually play in 7th grade. He played in 7th grade, but not 8th grade, and he came to the quarterback's coach, Daniel Childs, in high school, and he said, I want to be a quarterback. I don't care if I ever play. I just want to learn the position. And he finally has waited, and he has earned his turn to actually play the position out on the field, and has done a really great job at making reads.
Thanks for the hit, Sammy. Yeah, Jack Dever on the Nolensville side. A great story with this team as Lucas Reed throws it left side for Tullahoma. That's nearly intercepted. Diving attempt by James Marzullo. But both of these quarterbacks in their first year as the starter and have taken their team to the postseason. Nolensville, though, after the stop, will get it back as Tullahoma will be forced to punt it away.
Good job on Nolensville there on that series. I think they were attacking the wide receiver screen. Just the quick toss-outs a lot better this drive.
The punt nearly blocked by Bobo, and it'll be fair caught at the 20 by Walker. 9:08 to go, second quarter. Tullahoma leads on the road at Nolensville by 4 in the first round of the 5A playoffs. Financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust, who is proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes both on and off the field.
Every team knows the importance of a solid game plan, but even the best strategies can have unexpected obstacles, like losing a key player to injury. That's why having a backup plan is essential. Cars need repairs, appliances break, life happens. Be sure you're setting money aside each month to only use in case of emergencies. At Wilson Bank and Trust, we understand your needs and have the winning plays to help you achieve success. Visit Wilson Bank and Trust today and let's win together.
Nolensville back out on the field after forcing the punt. Still in search of their first lead of the night. Jack Dever in the gun. Hands off up the middle. Chased out of the crease there was Andrew Ryan. Robert Brooks in on the stop for the Tullahoma defense. As they'll continue to platoon these running backs, will Nolensville, the loss of one on the play.
I mean, it looks like it was going to turn into at least a 3 to 4 yard gain, which is an efficient rush, but just ends up flying backwards and putting Nolensville behind a yard rather than being 3 or 4. Those yards add up, especially if you're a pro-style offense. You cannot give any inch. You have to operate with maximum efficiency.
And Adams driving him out of there. And they'll keep it on the ground here. Again, up the middle. That's a strong run to get to near the line to gain by Lithmexe. And we'll see if that is enough for the first down.
I think good decision by the Nolensville offensive coaching staff. Just sticking to the running game. You are not going to be able to win this game by not rushing the ball on first and second down. So they prove right there that they're going to, because they have a lot of field to march away. It's going to be hard without a rushing attack. Now that they're starting to set up things on first and second down, they can look into their screen game and maybe their play action.
Does move the chains, gain of 11 and a UA local 572 first down, Nolensville. Go right back to Lithmexe, but Creed Adams knifes in for the loss. Forward progress may mark it no gain to bring up 2nd and 10.
Good play by Creed Adams and a pretty good job by the Nolensville offensive line. It looked like Creed just kind of flew in from off the screen to make that play at the line of scrimmage. A little bit sneaky with his backside alignment. He was off and then hit it quick.
Creed Adams trying to take this defense higher tonight as they hand off up the middle to Josh Hicks this time for a gain of 3. You know, Creed playing Nashville tonight over at Bridgestone Arena.
Oh, really? You big Creed guy?
Almost ironically, but they're a good time.
I was ironic for about a year and a half, 2 years. Now I unironically love it. Yeah, I love it.
Great live show. Wouldn't want to be anywhere but here, though, on a Friday night under the lights here at Nolensville. Third and 6. Dever getting the offense organized and wants to throw. Downfield, he connects. This is Ambrose, the tight end, into Tullahoma territory. Pushed down at the 40. 25 yards to Rowan Ambrose.
See him lined out of that backfield H-back position. He does a good job. He initially attacks the linebacker zone, and then he cuts out to in front of the safety zone where there's a small pocket where the ball really isn't contested by anything but air. Not going to be a lot of room to rack, but you will convert about 10 to 15 yards on that. Great route tree, great conversion.
Dever, quick throw. Bender gets out of bounds. The 6'4", 185-pound junior starting to get some D1 attention. Leads this team in catches, as that is his 45th of the season. And they are happy to have him back at 100% for the playoffs.
Does a good job there on that first down. Just a quick catch and release. Setting up a 2nd and 3rd and 4th where they can maybe start to chip away with the rush attack, really add on some time of possession and some extra plays to this drive.
2nd and 4. Lithmexe dances out of the backfield and gains 2. Flag comes down after the play.
Yeah, coach. Holding offense, 68.
Will be on right tackle Cole Spivey backing up the Knights.
I always get a little worried when I see backs. Not to say what Lithmexe is doing is wrong, but he's going one way to the other, and defenders react a certain way, and the offensive linemen aren't moving their feet. They're going to get called for holding one way or another with the guys slipping off to the side. Too much backfield dancing can kind of put your offensive line in a little bit of a bad spot.
Makes it 2nd and 14. 10-yard spot foul. Smotherman, the man in motion, but Dever wants to go deep. Has got Bender running at the 15, and it's just a touch too far. 3rd and 14.
It looked like Bender beat the double coverage, but oddly enough, with the way Bender was turning, it was into the one defender he actually beat. Instead of playing over the top, completely over his shoulder, the ball could have been thrown a little bit better, but it was actually pretty well covered, all things considered, from a potential catch. It still would have been contested, even if it was put where Bender was looking.
So big challenge for Dever and the Nolensville offense here. They'll screen it. Josh Hicks is chased out by Aiden Kelly at the original line of scrimmage, the 40-yard line. It brings up 4th and 10. Nolensville be forced to punt it away.
Starting this series on their own 20, able to drive down, but just not able to finish, get into the red zone. When they do get into the red zone, not able to get 7. Those things will add up through the course of a game as they send out their punting unit to try and pin Tullahoma in a bad position, maybe get the ball back to finish out the second half.
Smotherman, the Swiss Army knife for the Knights, sails it out of bounds away from Kenai Johnson. So there you get one dangerous return man punting to another, and it's a good one. It'll place Tullahoma at their own 12-yard line. They'll get it back, up 4 in the first round of the 5A playoffs.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham, and Sonic, who through their contributions to this program make these games possible for you, the viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecasts: the United States Navy, PMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.
We've got a great crowd, playoff football, Christmas cheer, everything you want on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Tullahoma gets it back after forcing the punt by Nolensville. On their own 12-yard line, they hand off up the middle. Marvancy Johnson stopped for no gain. I count 2 Christmas songs played so far. What do you think? What's the over-under here before the clock hits 0?
I hope it's 100. I hope that's the only music we play. It's a jolly time.
The playoffs or Christmas?
Both. I don't know about you either. Everywhere I've worked, Christmas is just kind of like an unofficial vacation too. So everyone shows up to work like, hey, you know what it is.
Winner of this game takes on the winner between Shelbyville and Hillsborough in the second round of the 5A playoffs. Lucas Reed wanted the screen, didn't have it, and he is thrown down in the backfield. Carson Kelly with his second sack of the season. And Tullahoma backed up now to their own 7.
Yeah, Reed just kind of pops out from his original throwing point right there. I mean, if you're in the pocket, I'd assume you just probably throw it out, but Kelly able to make the play and set up a 3rd and long.
Hard to draw up a play for 3rd and 14 from inside your own 10. Johnson. They play it safe. Nolensville covers it up. And Tullahoma will have to punt it away. Brennan Rexroad comes downhill. So back-to-back plays made by that inside linebacker duo that we talked about early in the game. Carson Kelly and Brennan Rexroad that have really been the life of this defense. Directly contributing to multiple wins along Nolensville's schedule. And this punt by Bobo will knuckle down to the 40. Walker able to pluck it out of the air and just scamper out at the 35. Excellent field position by Nolensville and a big chance to drive down the field and take their first lead.
It's still 4 minutes, all their timeouts, so it's not like they're in a rush either from this position. The way this series starts, still could be in a double digits of plays. Nolensville's offense kind of picking it up as we go. Tullahoma will have a chance to get a stop here as we look forward to our Bass Tire stop of the game coming up in the 4th quarter.
Bass Tire, serving Nashville for over 35 years. Fun game shaping up here in Nolensville. Out of the Wildcat, that's Smotherman faking the handoff and jetting up the middle, but excellent read there by Creed Adams, who made the hit.
We mentioned the Bass Tire stop of the game. Creed Adams has been putting in some stops from the weak side linebacker himself. It's the year of the weak side linebacker. Creed Adams, he's done the best at coming outside of the frame. He won't even be in the frame, and you'll see him just dart into the play. That's just practice, film watching, and athletic ability all put together.
He wants to be the Bass Tire Scott Stapp of the game tonight. I'll stop. Screen left side, Dever back in at quarterback. Incomplete at the feet of Oliver Bender. Brings up 3rd and 9.
Looks like number 61, the defensive lineman, Robert Tatum, got some pressure there on Dever, forcing him to not be able to set his feet as he throws.
So now a 3rd down. You got to think for Nolensville, they came onto the field with the mindset of getting points out of this drive when you get to start at your own 35-yard line. Again, we talked about it pregame. Keep your foot on the gas. Finishing drives, a huge point of emphasis for this team.
Yeah, we're in this position right here that you would call, or at least I call it the maroon zone, right outside of the red.
They'll screen it again. This is Walker. Has a blocker, but he's brought down before the 1st down. Will Hayden, the junior linebacker, who his head coach says is just the definition of a football player. Eats it, sleeps it, breathes it, and that time he chases down Trey Walker with the stop.
They almost got the outside there too, but DeAndre Jenkins does a good job on the edge, just getting enough to allow his team to come rally to that football.
Nolensville gonna go on 4th and 5. Dever, quick throw, incomplete. Adams was there to disrupt the timing as Bender was the intended target, and Creed Adams is all over the field. Turnover on downs. Tullahoma gets it back.
Creed Adams playing actually on the strong side linebacker, excuse me. They want to try and bait those linebackers like Creed up, but he's so fast. He takes a little bit of a yard or two back step on his alignment. That allows him to play great coverage in the zone alongside of just attacking the rush.
Flea flicker. Looking downfield. Reed airs it out. Intended for Johnson. It's incomplete. And on the coverage was Josh Hicks. Bang, bang play. The two came together at the end of the route. No flag.
That was perfect timing right there to disrupt. Gets a hand on the football, too. Good coverage. And that incompletion stops the clock. Could mean that Nolensville again has a chance at the end of this with all their timeouts with good field position to maybe go down and answer. Great job by Josh Hicks there.
Has been starting at cornerback since his sophomore year, the 5'9", 165-pound junior. Reed on the play action misses Kenai Johnson, and it brings up 3rd and 10.
See some frustration there from Kenai Johnson and Reed. A little bit of miscommunication maybe on what was to be ran. Now 3rd and 10, and 2 freebies to Nolensville with time off the clock wise.
So a timeout on the field. First one of the half taken by either team. This one's called by Tullahoma. Coy Sisk brings his team in. Promoted in 2022 from his post as the defensive coordinator under legendary coach John Olive at Tullahoma, who went 203-126 in nearly 30 seasons, including the 2021 4A state championship, a 15-0 season. And what a way for John Olive to call it a career. After that campaign, Coy Sisk stepped in, now in his 3rd season in charge of the Wildcats, and he's trying to put together a 3rd and 10 play with his offensive coordinator, Caleb Olive, the youngest son of John Olive, and try to avoid giving the ball back to Nolensville, who will also get the football to start the 3rd quarter. Player of the game coming up in the 4th, presented by Bart Durham. It was a tightly contested matchup a year ago. 10-0 was the final in favor of Tullahoma at Tullahoma High School. That ended Nolensville's season. So looking to avenge that tonight are the Wildcats. Reed. Another timeout on the field. Now Nolensville wants to talk about it. Big play coming up here.
I guess just taking a look at the offensive alignment and just making sure your guys have a chance, because this is huge for them, right? I mean, the game in the first quarter did not start in Nolensville favor at all. Tullahoma, they found a lot of early success, especially with the outside. They used their swing passes, and that would set up their inside rush game. Nolensville had a quick 3 and out, they ended the interception. They're pretty lucky to find themselves in the position they are right now to get the ball potentially with 2 minutes left in the the half, and then come back out with it.
So Coy Sisk will get another chance to talk to his team. As an offense, how hard can it be to kind of overthink things? When you call the timeout, you talk about it, come out, and then the defensive side calls a timeout after seeing what you came out with. What does that discussion sound like?
Of all the teams I've ever been with, all the plays I've ever done, and I guess you could say over 10 years of playing football at above college level, it's all smoke and mirrors, to be truly honest. I mean, a lot of the play calls are the exact same. It's just confirmation. They want everyone on the same page. So they'll take a look, say, hey, this is the guy you got to look out for from this formation. But that's even getting a little too upper level with it. These cats are probably just like, hey, now we know what they're coming out with. Go out and play football.
It's been an opportunistic Nolensville defense all season. 5 players along the lineup that have multiple interceptions this season. See if Tullahoma puts it in the air here. They will. Reed down the sideline. Incomplete. Looking for Bobo. But brings up 4th and 10, a punting situation, and the clock stops at 2:41. So Nolensville set to get it back with 2 timeouts. As they send Trey Walker back deep to receive, Sam Bobo to punt it away. They bring the rush, but Bobo gets it off, and it's fair caught at the 46-yard line. That is where Nolensville will take over. They'll mark it at the 45. 2 minutes, 35 seconds, and a pair of timeouts with a chance to get points on the board and then get the ball back to start the second half.
Nolensville offensive-wise, their gap scheme has been pretty good, something reliable, but you need to find something else. They found some on the second level zone pockets they can attack, but the Tullahoma linebacking core, especially Creed Adams, have kind of picked up on it on their dropbacks where they want to look. Nolensville has taken some shots to Oliver Bender. Might be an opportune time to try it again.
Rolling right is Dever, and he finds Smotherman, who's out in Tullahoma territory. That's a UA local 572 first down connection, 13 yards.
These passes across the body scare me a little bit, but Dever and Smotherman get it done to progress the football and get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Makes 4 catches for 25 yards for Smotherman, who had the 99-yard kickoff return. That currently is Nolensville's only touchdown on the night. Here are 6-4 5A teams battling it out in the first round of the 5A playoffs. Glad to have you with us tonight on a gorgeous evening in Williamson County. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan in the booth, Sammy Kincaid on the sideline, and the United States Navy halftime report coming up. Up the middle they go to Andrew Ryan, still churning as he crosses the 30. 14 yards, and Nolensville keeps it moving. So as you look at a scoreboard here across the first round of the TSSAA playoffs, 5A class, Centennial with a healthy lead over Lincoln County, but Shelbyville leading Hillsborough 21-0. The matchup to watch for these two teams, as the winner of this one will take on Shelbyville if they can hang on. But still early. A lot of those games around halftime. And handoff to Lithmexe going nowhere. A loss of 1 to bring up 2nd and 11.
Yeah, not really any room to run there from Lithmexe. And on top of that, he ended up stopping his feet completely.
Dever throwing on the run again, finds Bender, who gets out of bounds at the 21. It's like a bit of a rhythm forming now for the Nolensville offense.
And they're able to spread out the personnel. Smotherman, Bender, they're trying to get Lithmexe involved. So they are trying to use their weapons and be efficient. They are finding themselves in the red zone. I'd say this is their biggest test of the first half. They've had a lot of adversity. They've been here. They've found points. Now they need to convert and get a score as they start progressing towards this red zone.
That was a 9-yard gain to bring up 3rd and short. They'll go up the middle again with room. Josh Hicks into the red zone and down at the 10. A UA local 572 first down by the junior running back.
Using that misdirection to get eyes on the second and first level, a little bit hooked, bring a sift block on the backside and a big hole for Hicks.
So here's 1st and goal. Up the middle they go. Nolensville's trying to push a pile of its own. And a gain of 1, maybe 2, as they went back to Harris there. Timeout. Clock stops with 1:29 to go. Nolensville wants its second timeout as we get some more scores, this time in the 6A class. Big game at Green Hill. The Hawks trailing the Blackman Blaze 17-14 in that one. Cookeville and Riverdale tied at 7 in Murfreesboro. Love this time of year. And it just feels like playoff football out here. Foggy mist hovering on the practice fields on the horizon out here at Nolensville. A crisp 57 degrees under a cloudless sky. Doesn't get much better than that in the first round.
An ominous fog, some might say. Maybe a symbol to come. Take that as you will.
Okay, lunar expert Bruno Reagan. We did this in week 1. Can you tell me what kind of moon that is?
Yeah, that's a whaling crescent right there.
Are you sure?
No, absolutely not.
See, you said it so confidently, I would not have questioned.
That's something I try to teach all my kids, judo and school-wise. If you're going to guess, at least say it with your chest and with some conviction, okay? And if you're right, that's an extra bonus point you didn't have beforehand.
Educating our youth.
I promise I'm doing a good job, I swear. The parents love it.
Second and goal from the 8. Give up the middle. Lithmexe is met at the 5. So now Nolensville kind of playing the game of chewing clock, but also trying to find a way to punch this thing in search of its first lead of the night.
1 minute left, still potential 2 downs. They got the timeout to work with if they want to talk about something on 4th down.
Paul Derrick looking on. Nolensville head coach Jack Dever, the senior quarterback, fires a dart into the end zone. It's broken up. Was looking for Oliver Bender and a couple of white shirts back there knocking it down. Clock stops at 48 seconds to go, and it brings up 4th down. Nolensville will send out the punt team, or the kick field goal team.
Yeah, so before you saw that, they tried to set up what people call the mesh play, right? They had Bender and they had Smotherman sort of go across from each other, but Bender came inside where all the white jerseys on the second level were. So it just sort of fell into Tullahoma's alignment.
Another timeout on the field. This time Tullahoma will take its second timeout of the half. Each team will have 1 remaining. So Nolensville kicker J.D. Kuhlman, the junior, who has been very reliable for the Knights, already has 1 tonight. This one in much closer range for Kuhlman as Nolensville tries to get back on the board. Don't go anywhere. The U.S. Navy halftime report coming your way as we highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes. Have participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the country, and much more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. So ball is on the 5-yard line. You wonder if Nolensville's having any sort of discussions here. Second thoughts about going for it, or do you just send the field goal unit out and cut this thing to 1?
I think you got to send it out and cut it to 1. They tried really everything. They tried their normal rushing attack gap and some duo up the middle. That hasn't worked. Unfortunate. They tried to go to that mesh concept to Bender. They tried throwing fades to Smotherman. I mean, they tried a wildcat earlier in the half. So there's been a lot of effort to try and find something to work. I think you just have to take the points where you can get them. Now, if I'm on that field, I'm like, give me the ball. I want us to take 7. But I think from a coaching perspective, just get the points going to halftime.
23-yard attempt right down the middle. And it is perfect by J.D. Kuhlman. His 11th made field goal of the season, and Nolensville cuts the Tullahoma lead to 1 with 48 seconds remaining. So the Knights get points out of it, and now we'll look to come up with the stop with less than a minute to go.
Something pretty unusual, the level of kicker we have out here today for the high school football level. There are some colleges I know that could probably use kickers that are this accurate.
We've seen a lot of them all season, too. Getting to do these games across Middle Tennessee. As you look at the scoring summary, 9 plays, 49 yards, just under 2 minutes off the clock. And as you see in the NFL, kickers, at this point, crushing 60-yarders almost with ease. Doesn't it feel like it's kind of trickling down to where you're seeing more consistent and effective kicking even at the high school level these days?
It's a tough pill to swallow because you just constantly ask yourselves, I mean, all of human history, we're like, there's no way this record will be beat. The 4-minute mile, yada, yada, or the 5-minute whatever, like, and then it ends up happening, right? Now we're seeing kids hit 40, 50-yarders. We're seeing NFL kickers hit 60 to 70. I mean, breaking records constantly. You kind of like, where's the limit? But that seems to be the nature of things. We get old and the youngins get better. Maybe it's our coaching. Who knows?
We could tell ourselves that.
That's what I tell myself.
So Kuhlman now will kick it off. And it's been a game of keeping it away from number 3, Kenai Johnson. That will continue here. Scooping it up off the turf and brought down across the 25 is Dominic Harris. And Tullahoma will have 43 seconds and 1 timeout to try and make something happen before the half. Like we said, Nolensville will get the ball back in the third quarter. So how aggressive are you thinking you want to be here if you're the Wildcats?
Well, my general thought process is because most teams will play very, very soft, right? They don't want to get beat over the top. So if you have this first down rush and it goes past the sticks where the clock stops, so a 10-yard rush off the first down, then you pick it up and go quick. If not, then you probably just take it to half.
They'll go to Marvancy Johnson. So tough to bring down as he gets to the 35-yard line. And he's just short of the line to gain. But clock is running. Under 30 seconds to go. After the gain of 8, play action screen to Kenai Johnson. Excellent in space, but Jonah Osborne was watching the tape. Comes downhill to throw down Kenai Johnson in the backfield, the veteran safety. And that might take us down to the half.
Osborne attacked the receiver, Caden Poth, for Tullahoma, quick. Able to get into that backfield. And Johnson can't do anything with the football if he's being made contact with right off the snap as the teams take their run into halftime.
Tullahoma will take a 14-13 lead into the break in this 5A first-round playoff matchup out here at Nolensville High School. Back and forth affair in the first half, as it was Tullahoma striking first with the Marvancy Johnson 28-yard touchdown run. Nolensville's response came on a kickoff from Landon Smotherman, and been back and forth since then. A fun second half in store. Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid on the field with Tullahoma coach Coy Sisk.
Coach, you're going in. You were able to hold them to a field goal. What is really your message to your team? How big was that to hold them there?
Well, I mean, right now what we've got to do is make sure we're protecting the ball, and cut down on the small mistakes that we're making, especially in the special teams unit of the ball game. So, once again, back to what we said, we have to focus first, and execute next.
And your defense was really able to play disruptively. What's your message to them to be able to keep Nolensville really struggling on offense?
Well, it's the same thing that we always say. Our job is to get the offense the ball back. So that's what we're going to concentrate on. Reading keys, flying to the ball, but most of all, we got to get the offense the ball back.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you very much.
24 minutes to go with the season on the line for Nolensville and Tullahoma, who leads on the road by 1. The United States Navy halftime report coming up next.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Join Sonic throughout the 2024 Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals regular season as we recognize exceptional senior student athletes from each participating school. These nominated students are also eligible to win a $10,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season, courtesy of Sonic. Sonic is the proud sponsor of the Friday Night Rivals Scholar Athlete Program. Live free, eat Sonic.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Welcome back to Nolensville, where they're currently hosting Tullahoma, and I have with me Tullahoma's principal, Dr. Greg English. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I know that it's halftime, and you used to be a band director, correct? So you've probably not missed many football games.
No, I've not missed many football games over the last 27 years, and typically I'm over here right now, but watching a band play. So.
And whenever you're watching these games, just how proud are you of the Tullahoma team and seeing what they're able to accomplish?
I'm extremely proud. I'm proud of all of our students who choose to participate in something more than just going to school, putting forth all the work they do, the time they put into what they do. I'm a firm believer that is a key to success as a high school student. Being part of something that's greater than yourself, where you're accountable to others. If you don't do your job, it doesn't just hurt you; it hurts the team. So I'm very proud of them. They're a class act. They have been for as long as I've known them. Coach Olive, who's now our AD, he kind of put that culture in place where you'll seldom see the Wildcats win in a shutout. That's not because they can't, but because they take the opportunity to play their younger players. And so it's just a really great example of having an infinite mindset in a finite game. And Coach Sisk has done a great job of continuing that.
Yeah, and it's pretty incredible to see how many people travel to Nolensville from Tullahoma. So what can you say about this community at Tullahoma?
It's just a great place to be. It's a great community, great support. We have outstanding district leadership, school board, and just a bunch of kids that are bright and innovative and keep us on our toes every day.
I love that. High school kids definitely probably keep you on your toes. But thank you so much for joining me. And thank you so much to Western Kentucky for this educator spotlight. Whenever we come back from break, we'll hear from other educators as well as have stats, highlights, all of that. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Welcome back to Nolensville High School, where they're currently hosting Tullahoma, and I am joined by Nolensville Athletic Director, Mr. Zach Hudson, and thank you so much for hosting us tonight. What an we were just talking about the environment. What an incredible environment y'all have here at Nolensville.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we're glad you're here. It is a great environment. Our students show up, our community shows up. So yeah, it's a great game too, which obviously helps. So yeah, thank you guys for being here.
And we were talking before this as well. You have new state champs today. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Claire Stegall won her 3rd straight. Seems like about her 17th straight. She all she does is win state championships. So she won another one today at the cross country meet. So yeah, she's been a great athlete for us.
And your volleyball team has also had some success here recently too.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago they won the state championship. Coach Young, our volleyball coach, has done a tremendous job building that program. So they've played in 5 of the last 6 state championships and won 4. So testament to that group. They did a great job this year.
And we can just keep going around across all the sports because you had some success in the spring as well. Let's talk about some of those programs.
Yeah, so baseball was state runner-up. We had a really fun year, fun run. We lost to Farragut in the finals. Expect to have a good team again this spring. Lacrosse was state runner-up. They're becoming a sanctioned sport this year. So they had a great season last spring and expect a lot of things from them too.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fantastic, especially as young of a school Nolensville is, to see so much early success. And even the football program, they're able to get it done.
For sure, yeah, it's been really cool to be a part of it. We have just great people here, great coaches, great students. Like I said, the community's on fire for this place, so it's a great place to be. We're really excited about what we've accomplished and the direction we're heading.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for hosting us tonight. It's always fantastic being out here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, whenever you come back, we'll have stats, highlights, a whole lot more for you. And thank you again to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. We'll be right back from Nolensville.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Halftime in Nolensville. First round action in the 5A playoffs. Tullahoma with a 1-point lead over the Knights on the Tennessee Army National Guard. Friday Night Rivals presented by Bart Durham Injury Law here on My TV 30. Welcome back, everyone. Glad to have you with us. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. We'll hear from Sammy Kincaid down on the field shortly as we look at the first half highlights. It's been an exciting first 2 quarters out here in Williamson County, as it was Tullahoma winning the toss, receiving the football, marching right down the field. Marvancy Johnson 28 yards to open the scoring.
Tullahoma doing a great job with their sift blocking and gap scheming in the maroon zone, able to get an explosive play, and Johnson falling forward for the score.
And the answer was quick from Nolensville. Landon Smotherman, 99 yards to tie it up.
Where the Nolensville offense had struggled, Smotherman took it into his own hands on the special teams to get them some momentum and start chipping away at that Tullahoma lead that they built up in the second half.
Game was tied up at 7 at that point, but Tullahoma had a response, and it came on defense. Sam Bobo picking off the pass from quarterback Jack Dever. That got Tullahoma inside the 10 of Nolensville, and the Knights thought they had a defensive answer here. Brendan Rexroad with a big play to bring down quarterback Lucas Reed, but Reed able to pick himself up off the turf and get it to the triplet brother of the man who picked it off a couple plays ago, Alex Bobo, with the touchdown.
Kind of like a brotherly vengeance right there. Bobo redeeming the Bobo that slipped as we take a look at our halftime stats. Nothing too impressive, but about what we expected, right? These are two teams that are going to take chips. I think in the second half we're going to start seeing some explosive plays and some jabs. They're going to leave it out in the field. Remember, we're in the first round of the TSSAA playoff. Loser goes. Penalties, a lot of the same. Only 2 for Tullahoma for 20 yards, 3 for Nolensville at 30 yards. But passing, Nolensville having the edge with their 69 yards to Tullahoma's 30. Rushing, almost dead even at 68 for Tullahoma, 67 for Nolensville, with total production actually favoring Nolensville, who in the first quarter was a little bit of a dud, but they sort of chipped back into this game. We'll see if they can convert all that success into the second half.
And Nolensville will get the ball to start the second half in a few minutes. But first, every week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we showcase outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. Let's check out some of the best from last week's action.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
The throw again. Throws it for the end zone, and it is caught! What a touchdown by Cotton! He walked the tightrope on the back boundary.
Very quickly after this one, but definitely has this one right in their line of sight. A big one tonight, Ben.
All right, speaking of big ones, Jeremiah Thomas fields the kickoff, making some moves, getting downfield, and just like that, touchdown, Gadsden County.
McAllister might be looking that way again. He is, and it is caught! Touchdown! We're high! The Demir Mauder drive.
Absolutely.
Labor's local 809 touchdown.
Catch the defense off balance and go with a play action pass. How about a trick play on Halloween downfield? Roger Marco leads. He made the catch down inside the 20-yard line on a perfect pass from Roth.
We talked about a big part of their offense.
Second and goal. Baker lobs. It's caught! Gilchrist touchdown! Game on the line and a dynamic connection. Gilchrist and Baker.
Getting ready for the third quarter as we look at a first quarter moon. We confirm that up here in the booth. Important work happening. More importantly for the two teams down on the field. Tullahoma leading Nolensville by 1 in the first round of the 5A playoffs on the Tennessee Army National Guard. Friday Night Rivals presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Take a look at some other scores around the TSSAA postseason. Shelbyville leading 28-0 at the half over Hillsboro. If Shelbyville can hang on, they'll play the winner of this matchup that we have here tonight in Nolensville. Centennial up 3 scores over Lincoln County on the road as well. The Cougars in control as they head towards halftime. A lot of fun matchups happening around the Volunteer State. Riverdale up 21 on Cookeville, and big game at Green Hill. The Blackman Blaze looking to end an undefeated season by Green Hill. Third quarter, 24-14. The Hawks needing a comeback in that one to rescue what has been a phenomenal season for Josh Crouch and his Green Hill Hawks. Always good to be playing November football in the state of Tennessee. Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid, who's on the field with Nolensville head coach Paul Derrick.
Coach, you were able to put up some points there to end the half. How big was that to at least get something to close that lead a little bit?
Well, that was huge. I think the kickoff return was big, too, for momentum, right? Defense kind of was settled in there after that first series. Then we got the turnover, got pinned back, and, I think defense really kind of settled in right now. And offensively, we just need to finish drives with touchdowns instead of kicking field goals. But I'm extremely proud of our team and the way they keep fighting.
Yeah, and what was really your message to your offense other than finishing drives? What do they really need to do? What have you seen in that first half, some adjustments they need to make?
Yeah, I just think we got to execute a little bit better. We're really close on some runs as far as making a big play, and then in the passing game, we just got to take care of the football. We made some big plays there, so just continue to do that.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Sammy. So Paul Derrick and his Nolensville Knights will get the football to start the third quarter, and you heard it from the head coach, Bruno. This Tullahoma defense has done a nice job of getting off the field. Nolensville, though, with all the weapons to make it happen on offense. What would you like to see more of from that unit to open things up in the second half?
Well, they've done a good job of being dynamic in terms of getting the ball to different guys. It's really just their red zone. Like, imagine if they converted that fourth down, maybe get some points on that. Could be 3. That 3 from their first score turns into 7. They score 7 right there. Because Nolensville, all things considered with how slow they started, they could have been up. They have to finish in the red zone. Exactly what we said coming into the game. Finish these drives.
Let's go back down to the field. Sammy Kincaid with an injury update before the second half.
Hey guys, good news that the Bart Durham injury report is the same as when we started the game. The only player that is out tonight is on the Nolensville side, Austin Scanlon. He is out with a shoulder injury. That's your Bart Durham injury report. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Sammy. Both of these teams playing for their season for the next 2 quarters, both coming off of losses that ended their regular season. Tullahoma to Shelbyville, a heartbreaker, 28-27 on a missed extra point at the end. So the Wildcats huddled up, hoping to close this thing out to earn a rematch against Shelbyville, who's up 4 scores currently against Hillsboro. Nolensville dropped 2 to close out the season to Summit and then Page, who are favorites in the 5A class, certainly out of Middle Tennessee. So Paul Derrick has challenged his team to bounce back, to respond to that skid that ended their regular season. Great crowd on hand, as is the custom out here in Williamson County. And a 1-point difference between these two as we are ready to kick off the third quarter. Nolensville will receive the football, and ever since Landon Smotherman's 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, Tullahoma has made it a point to keep it away from number 7 on special teams. See if that continues here.
Tullahoma will be starting on defense. They've had some good playmakers show out. Creed Adams at the linebacking position on the third level. Aiden Kelly has had some good coverage in the end zone to stall these Nolensville drives. And keep an eye out for number 61, Robert Tatum. Made some disruptions on the first level for the defensive line of Tullahoma as they get ready to kick off and go on the defensive.
There's Tullahoma coach Coy Sisk. He's talked all week about wanting to peak at the right time. A message plenty of coaches across Tennessee are preaching this time of year. So here we go. Dodson teeing up the kickoff. Smotherman is back deep to receive. Andrew Ryan also back there, wearing number 12 to the left of your screen. But Dodson will bounce it right down the middle of the field. Ryan will pick it up off the bounce. And he is popped, stays on his feet, but a second wave of tacklers, and he breaks through. Flag flies. Andrew Ryan rounding to midfield and brought down in Tullahoma territory. A disappearing act by Andrew Ryan, who looked like he was down and then popped out of a pile, but there are 2 flags down.
Andrew Ryan does a good job of recovering. We'll see how he pops out of this pile, but you'll also see some holdings. Watch the Nolensville players. They kind of fall down here with their defenders.
Great effort by Andrew Ryan.
On the return, we have a block in the back on the return team. It'll be a 10-yard penalty. First down.
So we'll see if that is that first flag that threw, or that was thrown, I should say, when Ryan went into that pile. Seems like it will be assessed from that spot. Paul Derrick getting an explanation from Scott Spielman. And they'll step it off here. So Nolensville, an offense with 136 total yards in the first half, will have to take over inside their own 20-yard line. And actually, they'll move up the spot, and they will mark it right at the 21. Senior quarterback Jack Dever, first-year starter, hands off on 1st and 10. Nothing up the middle, and Lith McSay gains 2 on a second effort.
It seems like Nolensville is just too patient on their gap schemes. They're not really. The offensive line is doing a good job of coming off, but they need to displace these guys, and the pullers need to use that displacement and cut up quick. You want to scrape the paint off the walls, all right? You don't want to find the open hole and cover it up yourself. You want to give room for your back.
Three different players have 5 or more carries for this Nolensville offense as they dump this one down to Ryan, and he gets to the 25-yard line, makes it 3rd and 6.
Well, Nolensville's just been trying to get Lithmexe into the groove all night, and whenever they go to their gap scheme with him, it just looks like it's way too passive, and he has to dance in the backfield. That's a play you have to attack. I mean, there's no C-to-C gap aiming point on that. It is the plays developing right here.
Nolensville trying to avoid a 3-and-out on the opening second half series. Dever pulls the handoff, flings it, and it's out of play. Into the sideline it goes, and out comes the punt team.
They were a little late setting up there. That all game Nolensville's been setting up in 11 personnel. They have their tight end / H-back right behind the line of scrimmage, and then they have their running back. Well, for that one on that 3rd down, they went to a 21 personnel, 2 people on the line, one beside the tackle, one in the backfield. But they just got to that formation a little too fast, and it didn't sell the play action at all.
So Kenai Johnson, the dangerous return man, back deep. He'll watch Landon Smotherman's punt bounce at midfield, and it'll be downed right at the 46. That's where Tullahoma will come out for their first offensive series of the second half. 98 total yards of offense for Tullahoma, who had that long drive to open the game and initially take the lead, but since then have struggled to string together first downs.
Yeah, I think when Nolensville sort of figured out how to attack those edges, it really went away for them. Tullahoma has done a good job with Johnson running their gap scheme, too. but just inconsistent. A lot of procedural issues, too. I believe 3 or 4 coming into the second half already.
Marvancy Johnson, the bell cow back for the Wildcats. Surges up the middle, gets about 4 on the play. Man, so tough to bring him down at first contact. 12 carries for 79 yards and a touchdown. He's over 1,400 yards on the season and 17 total touchdowns. It's the type of guy that you feel like he's going to pick up at least 4 every time he touches it.
Big weapon on first down. Can set up some good things on second down as they go right back to him, but stuffed.
And that's just a gain of 1 for a player that averages 7 yards per carry. So now 3rd and a long 5. Both defenses trying to bow their necks out of the gates in the second half. And both defenses are coordinated by their head coaches. Coy Sisk of Tullahoma, Paul Derrick for Nolensville. Johnson in motion. Lucas Reed is going to run, and he's across the 45. It's going to be close. They mark him at about the 44.5 of Nolensville. See if they bring out the chains here.
No call yet, so I have to assume they will bring it out. Yep.
They will.
It does look like the nose is going to go past, so it should be a first down.
So they'll send both teams back to talk about it. Lucas Reed with that burst up the middle, and Coy Sisk told us this week that's something he really wants to work on with Reed, his junior quarterback. Feels like he has the ability to get 5-6 yards in a pinch, but he sees a lot more potential there in the quarterback run game of Reed, the first-year starter. And that is just enough. The nose of the football. Good enough for the BMC Metalworks first down by Lucas Reed.
Yeah, that's just a QB power right there. Nolensville had a defender who is playing the outside, and he's playing more coverage into the flat, because they have just man out there on trips. So that outside linebacker has to play the flat, cover the outside of the field, and that allows Reed to just cut it up off of his tackle's butt.
Screen, Kenai Johnson has to go low to catch it, and he's able to wheel out to the 35 and picks up the first down. Johnson stays on his feet in the process. Forward progress will bring him down.
Man, what a play by Joe. This is why having a guy like Kenai Johnson is huge on your team. We have a missed block and a low pass, but he's able to catch it low, field it, catch it in stride, and still convert the first down all by his lonesome. If you're a blocker for Kenai, clear the read out for him.
The first down pickup on the catch and run. Reed wants to go deep here, looking for Johnson, just incomplete. It was a heavy emphasis all week for Nolensville. Know where number 3 is at all times. And you just wonder how much more of a concerted effort we'll see from Tullahoma to put the ball in his hands.
And it shows that Tullahoma is willing to go explosive, too. They are going to trust their athletes on big-time plays. I always prefer for my second downs, especially when I've been so consistent all series, I want to win first down. And then if we're looking good after that first down, I'll take my shot on second down just so I have a third and manageable. But now we're looking at second and long, where things can get a little more confusing. We might go back to the screen game here for Tullahoma.
They'll go back to the run game. Johnson has room, has burst. Down the sideline, touchdown, Tullahoma. Flag is down in the backfield, and you can see the realization from Marvancy Johnson. That one's going to come back. A 33-yard touchdown wiped off the board.
Number 74, Marcus Berner, standing unironically right on top of the flag. We'll see who they call it on.
Holding offense, 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
Take a look at the right tackle here. Yep, number 67, McGowan. Instead of staying square and driving the feet, he opts to pick a side. And that's tough on a zone-style play, a duo-style play. You want to try and stay as square as humanly possible. If you end up turning out, you got to drive those feet, can't pull. Brings back what would be a much-needed play for this Tullahoma offense.
2nd and 20 after the penalty. Reed looking downfield. He is crushed from behind. Ball is out. Fumbled football. Nolensville's got it. Jake Centel on the sack fumble. Energizing this Nolensville crowd, and the Knights get it back on the strip sack.
Centel all the way from the backside hawks it down. And what extra effort and what good game sense to get your head up and find the football. If you're a Tullahoma offensive lineman, at that point, I'd be a little fired up because you're supposed to play through the whistle. If you notice that sack, you got to rush to either pick up your quarterback and the ball comes out falling it. Centel saving Nolensville. And what a swing of events. Tullahoma, just 2 plays ago, looked like they were going to get 7 and go up by potential 2 scores. Now Nolensville has the ball at their own 48-yard line.
And the holding call wiped away a 33-yard touchdown run by Johnson. 1 play later, Centel, with his 2nd sack of the season, recovers the fumble to boot. And here's Nolensville going up the middle. Harris showing off that speed as he's bumped out of bounds in Tullahoma territory. Excuse me, that's Ryan on the carry.
Andrew Ryan showing some good change of direction, change of speed on the special teams. Now he's showing it on the offense right there. Once he gets in that open space, he takes it up a notch and believes all the Tullahoma defensive men chasing him from behind.
He'll stay in the backfield. Ryan gets another give. This time he is met by Will Hayden and thrown down. And they'll say no gain on the play. But Andrew Ryan, who has 24 rush yards and has been primarily deployed as a slot receiver. They're using him at running back late in the season. That's been paying off. But Will Hayden that time forces a 2nd and 10. Lithmexe now in the game at tailback. Fake the give to him. Right side, Parker secures the catch. Trey Walker, makes the grab, brings up 2nd and 4.
Now that's good play action setup right there. Brings up the entire Tullahoma second level. Some pressure forced him to go out to his first read. But Trey Walker able to convert with his quarterback Dever.
Nolensville trying to turn that sack fumble into points here. Up the middle they go. Right back to Lithmexe. Stays on his feet. And he's forced out inside the 15. And now it feels like this unit's got some juice.
Spreading out the production. Lithmexe starting to get in his rhythm right there. You see him make a free man miss. After that, the hole's wide open, converting into that first down. Now we get to challenge Nolensville once again in this red zone. Let's see if they can put 7 on the board.
13-yard carry by Tristan Lithmexe. And they cycle Josh Hicks into the backfield. And now he gets a turn, but a bear hug tackle. Junior Mares, the 5'10", 190-pound junior, wraps him up. Gain of 1.
I can't tell if the Tullahoma defense is just starting to lock in when they get in those red zone positions, or the shortened field is just checkmating Nolensville at this point in their operation. A little bit of both. Nolensville has enough playmakers on the edges with Smotherman. You have Bender. You have your 3 backs with Hicks, Ryan.
This is Hicks again. Driving to the 5. They'll mark him at the 6, just short of the first down marker. Talked so much at halftime about finishing drives. Nolensville trying to do just that.
And there's a lot of coming off at the second level a little early. They need to displace this Tullahoma defensive front. They got some big, stout boys up there, but if you want any rushing attack to work in the red zone or in the goal line, the defensive line has to be moved. They can't just be covered up, and I think Nolensville is kind of getting satisfied with covering up and getting off those doubles early and trying to get to that second level. If you displace them, Nolensville has the athletes in the backfield to make something miss.
3rd and short. Now Ryan's in the backfield. Gets the carry. Looking for a second effort to get across the 5. Flag goes down late. Would be close, maybe just short of the first down, but we'll see what the penalty is. Nolensville acting like it's going to be on Tullahoma.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, half the distance, result, first down.
Second face mask penalty of the game against the Tullahoma defense.
Last set of downs this series for Nolensville to operate with. A 1st and goal setup from the 4.
Jack Dever, who had never played quarterback before high school, his freshman year, approached quarterbacks coach Daniel Child, said, I want to play quarterback. I don't care if I ever get in. I just want to learn the position. He's done that. He's gotten his opportunity this year. Now he's trying to lead his team in the first round of the playoffs. Handoff up the middle. Andrew Ryan disappears into the pile, inching closer to the goal line. Brings up 2nd and goal. Nolensville needs 2 yards.
With the field short and Tullahoma opting on the edges to play man on the receivers, you see Bender, number 14, on the right side of the field, one-on-one.
They'll try again in the run game. Up the gut, just short. That time Lithmexe goes down. This is going to bring up 3rd and goal on the 1.
I don't mind them sticking to the rushing tech. You got to challenge your guys to get into that end zone. You still have 2 downs to work with. Am I Nolensville? I get a run play, and then I immediately go, hey, if you don't get that, quarterback sneak on the 4th. Try and get them on their heels.
The Knights looking for their first offensive touchdown of the game. Dever with the quarterback keeper. He's brought down at the 5. Brought down for a loss by Eli Berger, the senior safety. That loses yardage, and it sends out the kicking team.
And it looks like there was a mismanagement of maybe routes. Dever rolled out to his left, and there was not a single route going out. Routes were actually going to the other side of the field. Setting up for yet another field goal. We'll give Nolensville the lead.
A 23-yarder here from Coleman. And an awkward angle, but he makes no mistake. Nolensville has its first lead of the game, but Tullahoma prevents the touchdown. 2-point game late in the 3rd in the first round of the 5A playoffs. Nolensville gets a playoffs. Let's send it down to the field. Sammy Kincaid has a certain announcement for a special occasion for an important member of our broadcast team.
And I actually have a special guest down here with us right now. It is her birthday from the high school, Sinclair High School Division. We want to wish Emily Lester a very happy birthday. And if you turn around, Badger has a cake for you from the Sinclair High School Division. So we just want to tell you happy birthday.
Thank you. I knew something was going on.
Thank you, Sammy, and thank you, Emily. Happy birthday, Emily Lester. We could not get any of this done without her and what she does, coordinating these broadcasts, reaching out to schools, putting the whole thing together. Look at that. Special happy birthday message to our own Emily Lester. Great stuff.
Appreciate everything Emily does. Don't worry, I'll get those invoices sent to you someday. All right.
You got one coming up?
What?
Birthday.
Me? No, I'm May. I'm a May baby.
You probably wouldn't get the same treatment.
No. The only thing I ever did for my birthday was all the Shrek movies came out on them, so we would just go watch those. Promise.
I can't think of a better way to spend it. Nolensville kicking it off after a chip shot field goal. It'll soar down to the 5. Working his way upfield is Marvancy Johnson, the star running back, spinning off a tackle, still on his feet. Johnson refusing to go down and finally tossed down near the 30. We'll hit a break. Be right back with 2 minutes to go in the third. Tullahoma gets it back down 2. Fridays at 6:30. Don't miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. This year, it's a pregame show. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick gets you ready for all the playoff action. See the fans, the interviews, and more Fridays at 6:30. Don't miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. We're up here working. They're down there having a birthday party for our friend Emily Lester. That's Badger, an unsung hero of this thing, stealing the spotlight.
I wonder if he knows he's on right now. He's got to.
Doesn't look like a guy who knows he's on camera. Tullahoma back out, down 2, facing their first deficit of the night after Nolensville's 23-yard field goal by J.D. Coleman. First round action here. These two teams met in the 5A playoffs a year ago. A 10-0 win for Tullahoma. And they've had a lot of success this season behind that man, number 22, Marvancy Johnson, the star back. 87 yards on 15 carries and a touchdown. Facing a 2nd and 7 here. Faking the give and a screen to Kenai Johnson. Bounces out of bounds, and they'll rule it incomplete. And those are the two catalysts for the Tullahoma offense, right? 22, Marvancy Johnson, and 3, Kenai Johnson. Nolensville keying in on those two players defensively the rest of the way, trying to come up with the stop of the game, presented by Bass Tire. Tell you what that is coming up in the fourth quarter. 2 6-4 teams in the 5A class. Nolensville, second place finishers in Region 6 5A. Second place to Page, a 5A powerhouse, and Tullahoma third in Region 5 5A. Winner will likely face Shelbyville in the second round. Flag flies before the snap. Looks like the play clock went down. No, Tullahoma got a timeout off. First one of the half. Never a timeout you want to take, right, to rescue the delay of game penalty late in the third quarter in a winner-go-home game.
Absolutely not. And also, you're starting to, trudge behind. Nolensville hasn't been able to run away with it or put it away. So I'd assume as we get to the fourth quarter, this thing will stay close. But Tullahoma, it doesn't help any of your chances. They have a little bit more of the explosive offense, so it wouldn't hurt as much as Nolensville using that timeout. But procedure has been an issue with Tullahoma today. We've had just some missed route concepts, handoff mistakes, and all those downs start to catch up when you kill drives.
So both teams will huddle around their head coaches. Started off with a fiery first quarter. Tullahoma scoring on its opening drive. Nolensville with a long kickoff return in response by Landon Smotherman. Tullahoma able to capitalize on an interception shortly after, turning that into a touchdown. And it's been nothing but field goal since from Nolensville, but they do have a lead, and Shelbyville is in full control as we look at some scores around the 5A class. 35-0 over Hillsboro. So very much looking like the winner of this game will take on Shelbyville, who we got to see in week 1 on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. That's a screen out to Johnson. Tackle across the 35. And this will bring up fourth down. Tullahoma forced to punt it away.
Take it
Play
away
made
scores
by James Marzullo. How about Blackman? 38-14 over Green Hill. Felt like that might have been one of the games of the first round across Middle Tennessee, and the Blaze threatening to end Green Hill's perfect season.
Anything can happen once you get into playoff time. All these teams, anybody can show up at any given moment, kind of take it away.
Fair caught by Trey Walker.
I was just going to say, what a turnaround this season for Blackman, too, coming in with new coaching staff fairly recently. Now you're in the playoffs, starting to knock off, an undefeated team. Pretty good look.
And you saw the bones of it early, right? Playing Oakland down to the wire, losing that game on a blocked field goal at the end. That is a dangerous team that nobody wants to play at the 6A level. These two teams trying to peak at the right time at the 5A level. Nolensville will get it back with the lead. Dever finds his tight end, Rowan Ambrose, who scampers out of bounds. Good first down gain by the 6'1", 205-pound senior tight end. Picks up 4.
Still well covered by Creed Adams. Who else? Probably the most productive player on the Tullahoma defense out of that second level. Strong side middle linebacker position.
Could be the final play of the third quarter. 12 minutes to keep one season going and end another here in the first round. Nolensville up 2 at home as we head into the final frame on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. coming down to the wire in Nolensville. Tullahoma, the road team, drew first blood. Marvancy Johnson, a 28-yard touchdown run. Didn't take long for Nolensville to formulate an answer. Landon Smotherman, 99 yards to the house. That tied things at 7 in the first quarter. And then this interception by Sam Bobo set up Tullahoma inside the Nolensville 5-yard line, where they went right to his triplet brother, Alex Bobo, with a touchdown catch, extending Tullahoma's run in this game. And a sack fumble there by Jake Centel, the sophomore defensive end who's been all over the place, allowed Nolensville to get the football, drive down the field, and chip in a 23-yarder. That gave Nolensville its first lead. They've got the ball now, up 2 with 1 quarter to go in the first round of the 5A playoffs. They're getting swallowed up there after faking the handoff.
Looked like a combination tackle there from number 2, Creed Adams, and Junior Mars, the defensive lineman.
As Ryan stuffed on that play. He comes out. Lithmexe comes in. Nolensville continues to rotate their running backs. Third and long. Dever down the middle of the field looking for Smotherman. Incomplete. And Nolensville will be forced to punt it away.
Just a misplay there by Dever, a little bit too far. Honestly, when you overthrow it by that distance, you're lucky it doesn't get picked off. So Nolensville will go all, and Tullahoma will, again, Tullahoma on the offensive side of football, they've shown good things. They just had explosive plays come back. They've had wasted downs from procedures. If they can put one together, they've shown to have the more consistent production.
Tullahoma's offense will come back out, starting on their own 25-yard line after the punt by Smotherman. 11:09 to go. And Tullahoma has not scored since the first quarter. Looking to get back going on offense. Go back down to the field with Sammy Kincaid.
Hey guys, when talking to Coach earlier this week, Coach Sis told us that he really encourages his players to play multiple sports. So with quarterback Lucas Reed, he plays catcher, pitcher, and baseball. And however, this is just a theme that a lot of guys are not specializing in one sport, and he wants to be that because he wants the players learning from other coaches, learning how they coach, learning how to play in-game environments and be under that kind of in-game pressure. So also you have linebacker wide receiver Will Hyde. That is the definition of a football player. He eats it, sleeps it, breathes it. He's a coach on the field, and if I tell him something, I never have to say it again and to automatically implement it. And he says that's because as a freshman, Coach suggested he played basketball, and he said he thinks that's something he picked up from playing basketball and from the basketball head coach. So it's something that Coach really tries to implement across with all of his players.
Thanks, Sammy. Yeah, it was interesting talking to Coy Sisk about that this week, something he takes very seriously, encouraging players to play multiple sports, see how different coaches operate, and be in pressure environments rather than spending the whole offseason in a weight room. He would prefer his guys be out there trying to win games, whatever sport it might be.
How many sports you play, Lucas?
I played soccer, and I played 1 year of freshman football.
Okay.
Didn't go great for me. Over the middle, incomplete. Lucas Reed looking for Kenai Johnson. What about you? In high school?
Track, football, wrestling. Judo was more of a club thing, so.
No, that counts.
Okay.
That counts.
So a little bit of 4. I had 4.
Man. You would have fit in well in Coy Sisk's Tullahoma program.
Well, he would have had to deal with it. I'm playing multiple sports. That was just me. I think that mindset's starting to go away now from a lot of these coaches, though. It feels like that was a very old school thing. Stick with me, stick with that one thing. Now, I mean, especially college recruiters, they want guys who do it all, who want to be the man.
Reed gives Johnson, had nothing going up the middle, so he breaks it outside and gets a UA local 572 first down run out of it.
Speaking of the man, Marvancy Johnson, he's been the bell cow for Tullahoma. Everything following behind this young man right here. And watch this quick cut. He sees all the pressure, just attacks the opposite side of the field where he finds some open space and makes a little something out of a whole lot of nothing.
1st and 10 after a 13-yard run. And that puts Johnson over 100 yards rushing on the night. Came into the game with 1,341. They go right back to him, up the middle. Johnson escapes the tackle, trying to stay alive. Marvancy Johnson brought down at the 30. The junior running back, a special player, according to his head coach. He's carried such a heavy load this season and continues to do so into the playoffs.
I mean, just doubling up, and that's for Tullahoma. Attacking that Nolensville first level did wonders for them there.
That one goes for 33, and it puts Johnson at 135 yards on the night. You know, you looked at his numbers coming into the game, 188 carries on the season, and you think that's a lot of touches, averaging 7 yards per carry coming into this game.
You see Johnson going out, so now the Tullahoma offense will have to operate without him.
He's got 19 carries tonight, averaging almost exactly 7 yards per carry.
Much more than efficient.
So a well-earned break for number 22. He's replaced by Jacoby Hill, who will get his first carry of the game, and Nolensville takes advantage. Carson Kelly, the leader of this defense, gets the stop, drop for a loss, 2nd and 11.
Yep, Carson Kelly just coming free from the outside again. I mean, that's just great second, third level defensive football. Yeah, and they know that the rush game is what they're leaning on too, so they're on their toes. So they might have that back alignment where they're a little bit hidden, and then they're just rushing it down the field to attack Tullahoma.
Reed rolling out. Flag flies, it's picked off. Intercepted at the 20. We'll check on the penalty, but it looks like Nolensville may have forced a turnover. James Marzullo, the junior outside linebacker, with what would be his first interception of the season, if it stands.
Looks like it's holding on Tullahoma. We'll get the official call now.
So Scott Spielman will tell us.
Holding is on Tullahoma. That is an interception for Nolensville. Huge. As we take a look, play action, getting out into the outside and just getting a jump on the ball. Marzullo, great interception right there. And you got to think back to Johnson, who almost broke away with a touchdown run for Tullahoma on that drive. The Nolensville defense did a great job of pursuing and not giving up, and then they come up with a turnover from that stop.
First turnover forced by the Nolensville defense tonight. They go right up the middle with Mexe. Falls forward, a gain of 1. So now Nolensville nursing a 2-point lead with a chance to chew some clock. An offense coordinated by Pat Curran. Dever dumps it off to Ryan. And he's swallowed up along the line of scrimmage. And it loses about 1.5 yards. Curran, the OC for the Knights, a former high school and college teammate of head coach Paul Derrick. Or Curran, I should say. Played together at Austin Peay for the Governors. And now working in tandem, trying to figure out a way to sustain this drive, but in a 3rd and long hole.
3rd and long was where either of these teams don't want to be. The weakness for both of these teams' offenses is a lack of ability to attack down the field consistently.
Dever throwing on 3rd down over the middle. It's caught. Hauled in for the first down. On the money to Trey Walker. And it's a UA local 572 pitch and catch, 22 yards.
Good protection by the Nolensville offensive line. And Dever says, "Shut up, Bruno. I'm going to stand in the pocket and throw it right down the middle to challenge the midfield and get my offense a new set of downs."
Walker's 3rd catch of the game, and that matches his season total coming into tonight. First and 10. With Mexe. Loses yardage. Bronson Bunch in on the stop.
Second and long coming up. Dever might get his number called again to bail his offense out. The Tullahoma front seven doing a good job of stuffing their early rushes.
Seventh
Do you want me to do?
all-time meeting between these teams. Series tied up at 3 apiece. This one with the season on the line. Dever dumps it down with Mexe still on his feet, and he tumbles down at the 40. Was just trying to keep his footing after a shoestring tackle. What an effort by the sophomore to keep the play alive.
You said it. I mean, what an effort right there. We had number 78 for Tullahoma on the defensive side. Trey Palmer get a hand on him, but Lith Mexe does a good job of showing off some high-level balance and getting the first new set of downs for his team.
UA local 572 first down. Puts it at the Tullahoma 40. Going physical here right up the middle. It's covered up by the Tullahoma front. Josh Hicks.
This has been a clock-eating drive for Nolensville, who's only up by 2 right now. So a no score here would give Tullahoma a chance to win the game with a field goal if they were able to drive down the field. But still a lot of field to go, a lot of set of downs, and Nolensville can stay efficient, stay on the field.
Remember, Tullahoma had to spend a timeout to prevent a delay of game late in the third quarter. Into the left flat for Rowan Ambrose. Inside the 35 of Tullahoma. And Jack Dever is dealing right now, the Nolensville quarterback.
You might not have the best game. Dever had a little bit of a demotivating interception early in the game. He came back from that one pretty quick, but still a lack of production, or at least execution from both these offenses, especially in red and maroon zone situations. But right now, you said it, Dever is dealing when his team needs it the most.
Now they give to Ryan, who has a hole. Up the middle, Andrew Ryan. Jets into the end zone. Touchdown, Nolensville. 34 yards, and Andrew Ryan has his second rushing score of the season. And a big one to put Nolensville up 22-14 in the fourth of a playoff matchup.
Just a counter, good kick-out block, and Tullahoma, who usually does a good job of attacking the point, right there, they get a little passive. The backside isn't able to make the play, and Andrew Ryan hugs those walls tight.
Coolman knocks in the extra point. And this is a 2-possession game. A 34-yard scamper by Andrew Ryan. And the Knights lead the Wildcats 23-14 with 4:20 to go. Nolensville up 23-14 late as we pause for financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust.
Every team knows the importance of a solid game plan, but even the best strategies can have unexpected obstacles, like losing a key player to injury. That's why having a backup plan is essential. Cars need repairs, appliances break, life happens. Be sure you're setting money aside each month to only use in case of emergencies. At Wilson Bank and Trust, we understand your needs and have the winning plays to help you achieve success. Visit Wilson Bank and Trust today, and let's win together.
Wilson Bank and Trust, proud to sponsor local schools and student athletes, both on and off the field. 4:20 to go. Nolensville waking up on offense, an 8-play drive spanning 72 yards, 4.5 minutes off the clock. 34-yard score by Andrew Ryan, the slot receiver turned running back, and he has turned into a fine weapon for this offense, just what the doctor ordered for the Knights.
That drive, sustained by Dever in key situations, setting up the Ryan touchdown off of the counter gap scheme.
So now Tullahoma, who has not scored a point since the first quarter, faces a 9-point hole with 4 minutes to go and 2 timeouts. And their offense will come out at about the 36-yard line. So now the sense of urgency obviously heightened, Bruno. This felt like kind of a knockdown, drag-out battle, 2-point game in the fourth. Feels like it's kind of been broken open at this point. How does Tullahoma respond?
Well, you can't even really rely on what has been successful for you with Marvancy Johnson in the rushing attack because you're down 2 scores. So you're going to have to air it out with Reed.
They'll do that here. Quick connection. Kenai Johnson. He's a heck of a weapon. Bumped out before he reaches the 45. Speaking of multi-sport athletes, here's a guy that plays football, basketball, and runs track. And the senior receiver trying to help his team mount a comeback here and avoid the end of their 2024 season. Taking the give, Lucas Reed has a gap, and he sprints through it across midfield. UA local 572 first down run.
Yeah, I mean, off of the rush, the chains will move, so the clock will stop. But you want to see a sense of urgency out of Tullahoma in their offense. You mentioned it earlier with Reed. They want to get him more involved with his legs because of reasons right there. They're selling out for the back.
Reed over the middle, connects. That's Will Hayden making the grab. Nolensville saying they have come up with the football. Quick conference between officials here. A good leaping grab by Hayden, but did he control it down to the turf? It will be second down. Caught it just short of the sticks, 2nd and 1.
Luckily enough for those watching on television, we get the replay. Let's take a look at Hayden receiving the catch. Yeah? You think, Lucas? You're nodding your head. It looked like he didn't have control.
Looked like he was down to me. Maybe we would need another look at it. Lucas Reed right up the middle. And he does have the first down. Gets it down to the Nolensville 31. And spiking the football is Lucas Reed. So here's another look at that Hayden catch that Nolensville is saying should have been a turnover.
There's no consistent control. He had no consistency of control, and the ball isn't down.
I think you're right.
And it looks like the ball doesn't hit the ground. It's up, and it's kind of a scramble for it. I don't envy the referee's choice right there. It's probably the safe call to say it was just a completion.
Yeah, tough call to make, obviously, on the field, but Nolensville saying that should have been an interception. Doesn't matter, as Tullahoma will keep the drive going with the quick game to Kenai Johnson, and suddenly they're at the 27-yard line.
Third down. Time is more valuable than downs at this point.
Reed lobs it out to the left side. Can't connect with Poff. And it brings up fourth down.
Looked like Poff there was a little slow out of the break of his route. Maybe some fatigue coming out in this fourth quarter.
A must-have fourth down for Tullahoma's season. Down 2 scores, less than 3 minutes to go, and 2 timeouts. Reed looking, throws, connects. Alex Bobo, who caught the first quarter touchdown that made it a 14-7 Tullahoma lead. It's been all night since then. And a quick spike by Reed with 2:42 to go into the Nolensville red zone.
Good job by Reed to extend the play and good protection by Tullahoma right there to give him a chance against what looked to be a 3, later 4-man rush. Can't let those get home in these situations. A good job by Reed to sit and deliver on a must-have fourth down.
Reed on 2nd and 10. Under pressure, he's brought down. Sacked by Carson Kelly.
Those are sacks you can't take in this situation, Lucas. Your timeouts, they're like water when you're stranded out in the Sahara Desert, and you can't just give it up willingly. And Reed right there, I believe he makes a mistake trying to step up into the pocket and not even throw this one away.
Yeah, the first effort was by Jake Santel, who has been a game wrecker tonight for the Nolensville front, and Kelly finishing the job.
Kelly with great production. Santel with that one self-sack turnover by himself could be our best tire stop of the game as we get later into this game.
So that's the second timeout taken by Tullahoma. 1 remaining, needing a score. At this point, an onside kick, and then another.
It would have to be the onside kick. With the amount of timeouts you have, one, that's not enough. That's not enough, so it would have to be an onside kick conversion.
2:33 to go. Nolensville has been able to lean on their defense this season, and they're trying to do that here to secure their path into the second round to take on Shelbyville. Against the team that eliminated them a year ago. Tullahoma 10-0, the win in the first round in 2023 over Nolensville. Reed under pressure, throws, caught, no! It's incomplete. Had Hayden over the middle. Couldn't secure the catch, and it's fourth down.
That's the junior Will Hayden, 6'1". A well-thrown ball by Reed here, and we just got to call it what it is. It's a must-have. Reed does a good job of managing the pocket with that nose guard pressure and just right off the fingertips. You see the visible frustration right there.
So Tullahoma will be forced to take the points here and make it a one-possession game. So they bring out Chase Dodson, injury timeout, as Zayden Morales will be helped off. Senior safety. And he'll go off on his own power. Hopping to the sideline on that left foot. So as they check on Morales, here's Dodson with a must-have field goal.
Has the accuracy and the power, some snapping issues during this game.
37 yards. It's blocked. It is blocked. Still alive and scooped up by Nolensville. And the crowd can feel it now. A block that could send Nolensville into the second round of the 5A playoffs. On the 37-yard attempt, Carson Kelly comes screaming in. Nolensville takes over. Tullahoma with the field goal that gets blocked by Nolensville. Carson Kelly off the edge, and the Knights take over up 23-14 with 2:14 to go. And at this point, it could be purely academic for Nolensville to keep their season alive. Remember, Fridays at 6:30, Fox 17 Football Frenzy is live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. This year, it's a pregame show. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick gets you ready for all the high school football games, the playoff action, see the fans, the interviews, and so much more. Fridays at 6:30, Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, who is proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes, both on and off the field. Here's another look at the field goal block, a 37-yard attempt by Dodson, and multiple Nolensville players in on it. As you saw the running back, Tristan Lefmexe, have a shot at it, but looked like the linebacker, Carson Kelly, that ultimately got the hand on it. And Nolensville now just trying to ice it away.
Tullahoma will probably have to use their one timeout here, but I think if you clock it out, even with their timeout, and if Nolensville doesn't convert, they'll only have 14 seconds left, and they have to find a way to score twice. So, good luck.
And they'll choose not to spend that timeout on this play as we get inside 2 minutes to go. What a response by Nolensville, a team that was sitting at 6-2 going into the final two games of the regular season. Had a 13-0 lead in the second half here on this field against Summit, and just let it slip. Paul Derrick, who you see there on the sideline, said, we kind of let our guard down, as he calls a timeout. Didn't like the way his team finished that game, and that's what they preached at the end of the year was our key to the game, keeping your foot on the gas. Now they had to face the buzzsaw that are the Page Patriots in the regular season finale. A loss there to close out the season, but he's got to be proud of the way his team bounced back with the season on the line tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, coming in, they looked fairly comatose in that first quarter. And Tullahoma, credit to them, they came out with a good game plan on offense, but the Nolensville defense really showing their strength to get the momentum back. The special teams breaking off the explosive play, and then the offense sort of chipping away. You still like to see them convert more in the red zone if they want a chance to go into the second, third round, later rounds of the playoffs. But a valiant effort and a good comeback and a consistent effort.
So Jack Dever, the senior quarterback, you can see him chatting with his sophomore running back, Tristan Lefmexe. Looking like they will keep their season alive to face Shelbyville on the road in the second round. They give to Lefmexe. He's swallowed up by Trey Palmer. As we get to our Bass Tire stop of the game, and you probably guessed it. We saw it just a few moments ago. Tullahoma lining up a 37-yard field goal to make it a one-score game. Carson Kelly with the block.
Yeah, Kelly did a good job right there of coming through the right side. It looked like he came right through the B gap, which is one of those that is, it should be absolutely protected at all costs, but he just knifes right through, right into attacking the kicker's point. That secures the game win.
So now the third and final timeout is taken by Tullahoma with 1:16 to go. It is 3rd and 9 for Nolensville. So they can keep it on the ground here, continue to milk clock. And then punt it away. Tullahoma could have a few seconds to try to make something happen.
You're essentially banking on the punt return, which, if they're smart, Nolensville will just kick out of bounds. So let's say they don't. The punt return happens. Then you have to have the onside and maybe a rugby-style play. It's a very, very, very long shot. If you're looking at that ESPN counter, it'd be like a 99.9% chance win for Nolensville at this point in the game.
Tristan Lefmexe trying to ice it here, and he is tackled before the line to gain. Right at the 46. Picks up 7. Clock gets under a minute. And Nolensville can milk 30 more seconds here.
Looks like Tullahoma will have about 28 seconds to work with. That's once this ball is snapped, not including the time of the play.
They'll try the hard count on 4th and 2.
Nolensville will probably just let it go down or call the timeout.
Play clock at 2. And there's the timeout from Paul Derrick. That takes us right to the play of the game, presented by the Tennessee Army National Guard. And it came early in this one. Nolensville down 7-0. And it was Landon Smotherman, 99 yards, taking a big hole up the middle of the field and taking it to the house.
Right before this play, Tullahoma went down, drove, then Nolensville on the offensive side of the football had a 3 and out, and Smotherman. That was kind of the start of Nolensville chipping away. That special teams explosive play, our player to watch coming into the game for Nolensville.
Wonder how much of a discussion there might be here to just, hey, let's get 2 yards and end this thing in victory formation.
I wouldn't mind it too much because it's pretty unrealistic for Tullahoma to drive down the field. And what would an extra 20, 30 yards be? Because if you're going to punt it, that's about all you're going to get because you're going to ensure that it goes out of bounds too. So might as well just go for the win here.
They're having a good time here. Great environment at Nolensville High School. 16 unanswered points by the Knights. Looking to extend their season into the second round at 7-4. And end Tullahoma's 2024 campaign at 6-5. And they will send the offense back out onto the field. Going Wildcat here. Sending Smotherman in motion. This is Hicks. Going right up the middle. He might be just short. And he is. They go for it on 4th and 2. And it's a turnover on downs. Tullahoma with no timeouts. 22 seconds. To score, recover an onside kick, and then do it again.
Yeah, you have to basically go for the end zone every single time it's a pretty good... going for it on 4th there was probably the right call, even though they didn't convert. You're essentially Hail Marying, then onsiding, then Hail Marying again. Very unlikely.
Well, they're going to fight to the end here. That's the culture Coy Sisk has kept in this program when he took over for legendary coach John Olive after a 29-year run culminating in a 2021 4A state championship where Sisk was the defensive coordinator. Reed. He'll be sacked.
No timeouts. That'll probably signal the end of the game.
And that will be the final play of the game. Sack made by Jackson Webb. The Nolensville senior. Clock will tick down, and your final score in the first round of the 5A playoffs. Nolensville 23, Tullahoma 14. It's celebration time for the Nolensville Knights. Nolensville moves to 7-4 and moves on to play Shelbyville in the second round of the 5A playoffs. When we come back, we'll give you the player of the game and talk to the winning team on the other side as Nolensville gets it done.
Hey, Retro, lock in. Retro, lock in. Y'all gotta be quiet. Go. It's not on you. Oh, hey, we on TV? Hey, man, we live. Y'all gotta be quiet when we go live. Guys, you better be saying no dumb stuff. Come on. Of course, all right, bro. I'm gonna be famous. Yeah, this happens. As you can tell, we're not used to television.
Nolensville moves on 23-14, the final over Tullahoma. The Knights are into the second round of the 5A playoffs. We go down to the field with Sammy Kincaid alongside Paul Derrick and his winning football team.
Coach, at halftime you said, offense, we got to finish drives. Not only did they finish drives, but you got it done in all three phases of this game. What can you say about your team?
I'm just so proud of our resiliency tonight and just the effort for the full 48 minutes of the game. I told them it was going to be a 48-minute game. It always is when we play Tullahoma. Defense played phenomenal. We were able to gain some field position with special teams, and then offense made enough plays and then punched in on that long run there to really kind of separate us in the game for the first time, I felt like. And I'm just so proud of our kids and just so excited that we get to practice for one more week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're never guaranteed a win, especially in the playoffs. How long do you celebrate this one before you look towards Shelbyville?
Well, I'll start looking towards them tonight, but we can probably celebrate, until we get back on Monday.
Well, congratulations. Celebrate with your team, Coach.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sammy. Always love to see that side of the postseason. Nolensville gets to be together one more week and gets 48 more minutes as they will play Shelbyville in the second round. Tullahoma, after a hard-fought season, ends their campaign at 6-5. That takes us to our player of the game, and it is Nolensville quarterback Jack Dever, the 5'10", 145-pound senior signal caller, 17-26, 126 yards, no touchdowns, one interception, but it's just the way he facilitated the offense, Bruno, playing point guard, getting the ball into the hands of his playmaker.
Yeah, and he stepped up where it mattered most, too, especially on those drives there to put it away, go up, score, finish it out. I was, pretty critical of both the quarterbacks around the halftime, and Dever sort of, I mean, you could go back and watch the tape. Right when I called him out, that's when he sort of stepped it up. So a great job by Jack Dever to close it out and get his team another chance to play 48 minutes of football next week.
Yeah, 3 different Nolensville players with 9 or more carries tonight. Leading the way on the ground was Lithmexe with his 45 yards on 13 carries, and it was Andrew Ryan with the lone rushing score of the night for Nolensville, a 34-yard scamper, part of a 16 unanswered point run by the Knights to come back and win 23-14. They move on, and so do we. Hope you'll join us next Friday, November 15th at 7 p.m. as we go deeper into the TSSAA playoffs with an exciting Round 2 matchup to be announced right here on MyTV 30 Sports. All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham Injury Law, and Sonic, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to the 2024 Friday Night Rivals telecast. The United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Tullahoma High School and our host, Nolensville High School. From our partner Bruno Reagan and Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline, another very happy birthday to our own Emily Lester and our fantastic crew. I'm Lucas Panzica saying good night, and we'll see you next week in the second round. Final score from Nolensville. The Nolensville Knights 23, the Tullahoma Wildcats 14.